Hey guys, what's up? Joe here from TheTechSlugs, and today I want to talk to you about my daily cash routine. So my routine now is yielding me over $1,000 a month, just like it did in the last one in December, but we slightly incremented to an average of about $1,200 a month. It isn't the same kind of effect I was going for, but hey, I couldn't get as high as I wanted to, and I did have ulterior motives. You can watch this video right here on me spending $2,000 this year so far on smartphones. So anyway, let's start talking about what I'm making, how I'm making it within the apps, and what apps I'm even using. There's going to be a spreadsheet in the routine to go along with this. There's a lot of information in the spreadsheet. I try to write a lot more than I usually do. You have values, you also have tips and tricks. Keep in mind that the apps and websites are ordered in reliability terms and consistency terms. So the most consistent things I've been using, the things I've been using for years to make money, are going to be at the very top, and the things that are brand new or haven't been really consistent for me are going to be towards the bottom of each section. Very important to keep in mind. I think that's going to be very useful to you guys. Down here in the corner, I'm going to put the icon of the app, and I'm also going to put a video if I've made a video about the app already, so you can get more information about the apps. In the description, I'm also going to put a link to each app in my archive section. The archive section on my website will just tell you guys quick bullet points information about each app, important things like TOS, how many devices you can use, how many devices you can have per house, how many accounts you can have per household, the earning limits, the cash out options, very simple things in the app archive section. And then of course up here we're going to have the counter, which will keep track of the dollars that I'm making throughout each app I explained to you guys. There's also a device tally on that spreadsheet, which we're going to get into right now. So I have 27 phones now, including my main phone, which is an iPhone 6. 27 devices, and I also have 2 computers still. The one is a custom-built PC, and the other is an Asus K52JE laptop. You'll notice on the spreadsheet that I group my devices now. I have different names for each device group. Most of them are self-explanatory. The one at the very top, called the original bunch, that's just a compilation of devices that have been doing mostly the same thing for years now, or maybe at least over a year, the same things. And I just call them the original bunch because back in 2014, when I made one of my first cash routine videos showing you guys how much I'm making, was like $300 a month back then. So we've come a long way, but back then I only had 4 devices. So there's 4 in the original bunch. But anyway, with that out of the way, let's start talking about apps. So the first apps on the spreadsheet are the Swagbucks app. Swagbucks Sportly TV, the Swagbucks Lifestyles app, Entertainow, and Swagbucks TV. Any particular order, those take a couple hours a day to complete. There's a 10-cent limit per each app, but it adds up considering I have 7 devices on SB now. I've been using SB for a long time, and I think I talked about this on the spreadsheet. You guys just have to keep building. Slow and steady growth is how you want to do it. You cannot do everything at once, but you just need a systematic way of growing. The next app on the spreadsheet is CheckPoints. Been around for a long time. Very nice app. The original bunch only does this for 8 hours a day. And then the dedicated CP devices are obviously doing it all the time. And the devices pull in about 1,000 points per day, which is really, it's a median of anywhere between 85 to 120 a month. And this was much better back in December. The CheckPoints has been kind of struggling for me lately, and my Android devices were absolutely terrible at it, which is why I did switch my CP devices from Android to iOS, and I did something else with the Android devices. The next thing I'm using is Perk, and there are several apps that I'm using with Perk. I have 5 Motorola Moto E 2nd generations that I'm using with Perk, contrary to the Fuels, which have now pretty much disappeared. I'm using Perk WOMI Word Search, I'm using Perk Word Search. The WOMI one's green, it just looks a little bit different. It basically functions the same way. I'm using Perk TV Live. I just added eSports TV to my routine, which hopefully won't affect the income too much. It's just one device. Then I'm using Perk TV, and I'm also using Perk Scratch Win. So along with the 5 Moto E's, there's also an iPod Touch 5th generation that I use Perk Scratch Win on. Now I don't keep track of each of my devices individually. I just keep track of what the perk counter is at the end of the day, and it's been anywhere from $9 to $10 a day combining all those devices. The next thing on the spreadsheet is AppTrailers. I've been using AppTrailers for a while. I think it was in the last routine a year ago or 2 routines ago, and the original bunch is what I use AppTrailers with, but there's also a new device I've added, which is the iPod Touch 5th generation, and that has slightly bumped my income. And by the way, AppTrailers has been working absolutely wonderfully lately. They added a semi-passive option inside of the app, so you don't have to keep pressing the button each time. It's a little bit quicker. and I've been able to just bump the income ever so slightly to about $6 to $7. The next app I brought back that really hasn't been making me much money the past year is Qriket. I found a new technique that you guys can use to make about $50 a month with Qriket. Now, I will not make the $50 this month, which is why I added the lower end of $25 a month. I can guarantee you'll at least make $25 with this method, so definitely watch this video for more information on that. But Qriket is a great app. You spin a wheel to make money. The next app I've been using, which are on the Moto G third generations, is Adlove. Just 3 Moto G third generations I'm using with Adlove. Adlove is a fairly new app. It's probably one of my most favorite new apps, my most favorite, most reliable app, and you can listen to ads with Adlove, but I mainly go into the bonus videos section in order to earn points. But basically, you just have to keep watching the videos in order to earn 10 hours approximately. The next app on the spreadsheet is QuickLoot. This I'm using on just the original bunch. It requires a pretty hefty phone, actually. I mean, it's iOS 9 and up, so just the latest operating system for iOS. So that's just being used on the original bunch. All very nice phones, high end, and this is making me only about $12 to $36, but it is only taking an hour a day to complete. It's a very simple video watching app, so definitely recommend you check it out. The next app I'm using is Baymack, and in fact I'm using it on the same Moto Gs that I use Adlove. So I use Adlove for part of the day, then I use Baymack for the rest of the day that I can actually use it. And with that, I'm making about 50 cents to $1 for each phone for about $45 to $90 a month with Baymack. Definitely a large margin there. I wouldn't say it is a very consistent app. It's fairly new. It hasn't been out that long, but I've been using it for at least a month, and it's not bad. It's definitely worth putting into your routine. The next app I don't believe I have a video for yet on the channel. It's Rewardable TV, which I've been using a lot. It's on my LG Volt, the Moto G first generation, and then the last Moto G in the lineup, Moto G number 4. And Rewardable TV, it was working way better for me last month versus this month. There's something extremely wrong with the balance meter currently, but it is still working. I'm making about $30 to $60 a month with it, but definitely on the lower end this month. I only made about $40 with it this month because of this strange issue. My advice to you for Rewardable TV, just go at the top section. There's a video section or a GIF section or something like that, and ads are going to play in between each GIF. Just use it, constantly use it, and make sure that the meter, it may not go up at the top corner, but your balance in the settings will go up, and it may freeze for a little bit, but you just have to keep using it. So these next couple apps on the spreadsheet are just apps to pay you to download other apps. I'm going to be completely honest, I've definitely dropped off with these apps, and I'm just using it on my main phone right now. I am not using them on the original bunch like I usually do, but these apps still are generating some income. I'm using FeaturePoints, AppBounty, or BountyBucks, whatever you want to call it, and Appdown. That's basically it. Appdown and BountyBucks are only earning me about $5 a month, so I just get on there and cash out every once in a while and download a couple apps. FeaturePoints, it's always been my favorite for some reason, and that's making me about $30 a month. The last two things on this spreadsheet are apps that are kind of in beta, and I figured I'd just throw in there because they are being used, and I need to explain what all 27 devices are doing. That's ChargerPay and Watch and Earn. Watch and Earn, if you remember, I made a video about it like at the end of May, and I said I never got my money that I redeemed at the beginning of May, and that is still true. I have not received the money that I originally redeemed, but I'm trying it out again because I've heard so many mixed reviews about this app, and I just want to give it a shot on one of the cheap track phones, the LG XC, the one that's remaining after the other one crashed. And then ChargerPay, another app that was completely inconsistent for a while after I made that routine video in December that I said I was making a lot of money with it. It was really good at one time, but then it just went off the charts, terrible, and now apparently it's back, so I'm trying it out on the fuels, but there's no consistent income there for me to report something to you guys. It would be actually legit. All right, so let's talk about the websites next. These are being used on my 2 money-making computers. The best website by far right now, I think, is Earn Honey. It's been super consistent for me. I've redeemed $5 every single day for as long as I can remember. Definitely this month, $5 every single day. So that's $150 extra a month. The next website, which is fairly new, it's called Bing Rewards. Fairly new to me. It's been around forever, but I recently put it in my routine a few months ago, and I'm making $25 a month with that. Bing Rewards, I just do the PC searches, which is 15 credits per day, times 30, that's like $4.75, something like that. So that's about $5. Also keep in mind that you can have 5 accounts per person in the household. Not Mobile is the next app. I'm making less than I was in the last routine video. I'm only making about $45 to $50 a month, basically $45, because the limit is $1.50, and it will take you a few hours to get to that limit. And the last thing on here is Perk.TV. Don't consider that even really in the website section. I would like to actually put it in the Perk routine section, but it is a website, so I'm going to put it here. It's being used on one of my money-making computers. There's no value for this. It's already been included in the Perk routine in the app section. And that brings us to a total of anywhere between $1,054 and $1,204. Pretty amazing. Like I said, this spreadsheet is pretty ginormous. It's bigger than any of the ones I've ever made before. It probably won't even fit on one page this time. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of my cash routine. Maybe I should start making these more often just to keep you guys up to date with what's going on in my routine. As you can see, all the devices are behind me. Give this video a thumbs up if you want to see an office tour. There's really not much to show, really. I just want to show my devices to you and maybe give you a better mapping of where everything is, and just a couple other pieces of cool equipment that involves making money. So, if you guys are interested, forum.TheTechSlugs.com, it just released. If you have any questions, you can post them there, along with sending me an email or getting me on Facebook or Twitter, and I will get to your question there. There's also a contest going on. The most active person at the end of each month is going to get $25. The second most active person on the forum is going to get $10, and the third most active person is going to get $5. So definitely check out that forum, sign up, and stay active. Ask any questions you have there. Alternatively, if you have any questions, you can also get on the Facebook group. We have a Facebook group for the TechSlugs, and ask any questions you have there. I'll leave a link in the description for both of those things. Also remember to check out the app archive section for any specific questions you have about each app. And I will see you guys later. We have a lot more to cover in the coming month that I want to show you guys when it comes to making money with smartphones. Hopefully make you make money more efficiently. But anyway, until next time, as always, have fun making money. I'm going to keep it up. It's like a corollary to my website. So once you go to forum.thetechslugs.com, the register button, if you're on mobile, then you have to go to the menu at the top, and then you go into log in. At the bottom, there's a register button. It's just self-explanatory. You go through